Many people say that music is a universal language. If that's the case, I would like to use music as a platform to talk about health. My name is Dr. Moshe Lewis, and I'm a full-time practicing physician who loves music and the way it affects our brains, our bodies, and our well-being. I would like to invite you to tune in where we interview musical artists about health matters that are important to them. But the truth is, we'll be discussing topics that affect all of us. From mental health to body image, cancer screening to stroke, our health is truly our greatest asset. So the goal is to open the dialogue on health to embrace topics that we don't always like to talk about in a way that's raw, candid, and lit. Hopefully, these discussions will improve the health of our community. After all, your health matters to me, and if I can make it sound more beautiful, then that's something we should all listen to.
Music and medicine, when you hear those words, how do they speak to your heart?
Music and medicine. Music is medicine. You feel?
Welcome to Music and Medicine. I'm your host, Dr. Moshe Lewis. Really excited today to be joined by a star, a legend, a woman with 90 IMDb credits to her name, multiple movies, and a Tony nomination for The Mighty Gents. Dr. Starletta DuPois, what a pleasure to have you with us.
It's my joy. I was almost speechless listening to all the wonderful things that you said. It's my pleasure to be here.
Yeah, I want to kind of go back in time a little bit and talk about Medea and how that helped you sort of get that acting bug. Tell us about that play, what the importance is, and how that sort of changed your trajectory.
Well, it happened at Maryland State, which is now University of Maryland, HBCU,
Yes.
University of Maryland Eastern Shore.
Sure.
And a lady named Marion Sujet used to come down from Philadelphia, where I'm from, to the campus. I was a biology major.
Right.
And I had no idea that Greek tragedy, hell hath no fury as a woman scorned. She helped Jason get the golden fleece.
Right.
They had to flee.
Right.
He goes to another place and decides he wants a younger version of her.
Imagine.
And Miss Thing says, I don't think so.
Sure. Right.
I'm going to bring my children to bring the gown and the crown for the new queen.
Right.
That means she murders her and her father, and she murdered her sons. I said, oh my God, who is this woman? A sorceress, right? This is unbelievable. That's what made the light bulb go on and I had no idea that I had jumped into one of the most difficult roles there is.
Sure.
But who would I know? I'm a newbie. And my Jason went on to be a Supreme Court justice in Ohio, Leslie Gaines. But the light bulb went on. Now, I made sure, and this is what the young folks should know, get your degree in whatever it is you try to get it in.
Right.
And then you could do whatever after. My grandmother told me that education was going to be my way out of whatever poverty, and it would put me on a equal playing field in the marketplace. And HBCUs, our professors always told us you have to be 3 and 4 times more prepared than anybody else.
Yeah.
So this DEI foolishness, it has nothing to do with us because we already knew.
Right.
Any job I ever had, including acting, I had to be that much more prepared. So not a pity party. Oh, this is what I have to do? No problem. So after that, because when I came, I shouldn't even have an education. Elementary school. Oh, okay. I answer that question.
I want you to then tease out how hard you worked to get into school then.
Okay. But let me even go. Can I go back?
Sure.
Because elementary school from kindergarten to 9th grade is 10 years. I went to 9 schools in Philadelphia. I don't even know those folks. And it wasn't until I ran away from home incident, and my grandmother, a Seventh-day Adventist lady, told my grandmother about Pine Forge Academy. It's a a black boarding school, upstate Pennsylvania in Amish country. So 10th, 11th, and 12th grade, I was there. Of course, I know all those folk, right? Still friends. Then I went to Harlem Hospital School of Nursing for 2 years. And I did something very stupid there. My upper class classmate said, well, Starletta, see, and I didn't realize then that the artist was coming through. I'm modeling and I'm being a nursing school now. Harlem Hospital is one of the unbelievable teaching institutions.
Yes.
So if you saw it in your textbook, you're going to see it at Harlem Hospital, especially in the emergency room, right?
Yes.
So I was dedicated to what I was doing. So I panicked and really haven't spoken too much about that. But anyway, she was going to let me, I had my notes, but she was going to let me use hers. Now, a person with sense would have taken each page and cut off the top where the person's name was.
Right.
Duh, right? I'm busy. Pages, plural.
Right.
So, of course, I got caught. And that was a good thing. But I was so upset that I had disappointed my grandma, who was my heart. But my anatomy instructor told me, says, Starletta, you have the aptitude to become a doctor. So be encouraged. I could have fought it, but I just left graciously. And then went to Philly and did a course as an operating room technician, so I would be a scrub nurse to make a little more money.
Right.
Nurses back then, even RNs, weren't paid that well like they are now. But it was a learning tree for me. And see, being transparent at this age and honest and with integrity, I can tell young people, yes, I made a mistake. Could have been grievous. It could have caused me to quit. But I don't have that in my spirit to quit. You know, that poem, Don't Quit. One of the lines is, success is failure turned inside out. Mm-hmm. And it's true. No matter what happens, you have to find a way to survive, overcome, and blossom. So when it was time for me to go to school in the 60s, women could not have a bank account, credit cards, or anything. Everything had to be in a man's name. Right. And I had given a family member money to save for me. Right. And they decided to do something else with it.
Get a washing machine, possibly.
Oh, yeah, that story. Yeah. My cousin's going to get mad when she hears about it. But I called the school. Now, see, that could have been another thing where I could have said, right. Hell with it, right? I called down to the school and talked to Dean Harris. Right. I said, I'm not 18 or 19 or 20. I have got to get an education. I will work as many jobs as you have. And which I ended up, and he asked me actually if I was going to be going to law, because I was really, and actors are great lawyers anyway, a.k.a. Johnny Cochran. Right. You need to be able to persuade and da-da-da-da, okay. Anyway, I talked this man and letting me come to this school. I worked 3 jobs for real, but I worked smart. I graded papers in the biology department. I worked in a library so I could give you a book, right? But I could study.
Exactly.
And then Mr. Kane had the campus grill. Okay, in the 60s, the food was awful, unlike it is now. These kids complain about having hot and cold food and
gourmet
salad bars and all that kind of stuff, right? We would go through the line and we would see the meat and we would call it Wonder Meat, wondering what it was. Yeah. So anyway, I'm working for Mr. Kane. I could cook my own food. And we had a thing at school called the come down tree, where the guys that played a sport. So I would leave the dormitory and you have to come past them to get to the dining hall. Right. Well, a lot of girls, the stuff that they would say about you, be it true or a lie, would feel so bad that they would run back to the dorm. I would tell them, look, y'all can say anything you want about me. If it's the truth, there it is.
Right.
Y'all put it out there.
Right.
And if it's a lie, but I tell you what, you're going to need me when it's time to take that exam. Because if we had the English comp,
right.
Just remember that now. And I should be ashamed to say that I took it for people, athletes who wouldn't have made it out.
Literally.
And many of them went on to the pros, okay? But I was always somebody that wanted to bless you and work something out. And that's just part of my nature. And so actually, once I graduated, and then coming to Maryland State, the semester I came was the semester that Malcolm was assassinated. Right. So in the meantime, I'm in the D.C. area, so I'm a part of SNCC, Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee, with Stokely Carmichael, and John Lewis was a part of it. But by 1968, when I graduated, that was April when Dr. King was assassinated. Right. So then he espoused Gandhi's passive resistance. Right. We went through a lot there. The Klan burnt a cross on our campus in front of the Student Union building. The fellows formed a human chain around the women's dormitory. Bricks, bats. I don't think people had guns. If they did, it was like one.
Right.
And we had just come from Annapolis, Maryland, where Spiral T. Agnew was governor, and we were pleading with him not to close down the black schools down Route 13. So we're talking, even up in Pennsylvania, you have Cheney, you have Lincoln, then you have Delaware State, and then all of them, Bowie, Coppin, Morgan, they're all part of the class action, right? The Norfolk State, further down. And $1 million chicken farm went up. We'll go to our graves as to how that match happened. Folks were in the chemistry lab. You have to be ready to die in order to live.
Yeah,
and that's where we were. The dogs, the water hose, getting arrested. But you have to do what you have to do. So I've been a revolutionary basically all my life. In Philly, that movie Pride talked about the Nile Swim Club. Well, when I was a young girl, I couldn't swim there. Right. So segregation was happening all over the country. People think just the South, but the North as well.
Sure.
Slave owners all the way up to New England and all, right? But so graduating, I went to New York. I stayed home for a minute, went to New York to start studying acting. And it was like on-the-job training because I really wasn't a theater major, but I was blessed to work with phenomenal people. My first time on Broadway to get nominated for a Tony with Morgan Freeman and Richard Wesley's Mighty Gents.
Right.
He wrote Uptown Saturday Night, Let's Do It Again. Right. And it started there with theater. I love everything else, but theater is my first love.
Sure.
One of the reasons is you can't cut.
Right.
And edit.
All there.
Either you know it or you don't.
Right.
And you need to know your lines and you need to know the other person's, because you can look in their eyes to see, oops, I don't know what I'm supposed to say next. Sure. So you have to ease them saying their lines, your lines, to help them either to get off stage or for them to remember. So, yeah, it's challenging, but exciting. It's scary, but exciting all at the same time.
Right. And I think you get so much feedback from the audience as well.
Oh, my Lord. People talk back to you.
So.
They talk back to you in the movies.
Yeah, me too.
They couldn't, so wait a minute.
No, well, you were jumping to it. That's exactly the point. What was that transition to working here film and TV?
I started doing film in New York because the casting people and directors would come to see you in a play. So that's how I got The Gambler with James Caan and Antonio Fargas, and how I got the first Death Wish with Charles Bronson. And I did a children's movie with Butterfly McQueen. Worked with her also on a film Stan Lathan directed called Amazing Grace with Moms Mabley.
Yes.
So they used me as a stand-in for her, but I was also a nurse.
Right.
I could use my nurses. Anything you do, you can use it forever.
Always comes back.
Yes.
Talk to us about Big Mama's House.
Oh, wow. Doing that movie, we had so much fun. We worked a month in Orange County because Martin couldn't stay in that fat suit.
Right.
So we had a lot of overtime. My first residual from Big Mama's House, one lady that played the lady that had the dog, she said she fell to her knees when she opened the thing and saw the money.
And it's still on today.
Oh, yeah. From the note from Big Mama's House, well, all of them. Friday After Next, I still get a little something. Waiting Takes Hell. The Notebook is still kicking it. You know what I mean? So it's great because as actors, I don't know when I'm going to work. Most people would panic when you don't get a check once a week, every 2 weeks, once a month. So we gambled. I gambled on myself. And it's worked out. I mean, people say, oh, you do a lot of small roles. And I said, well, I don't think it's small roles. It may be small actors. Because if I disappear and become this woman and you forget about Starletta, I've done my job. And also, I can do this till the wheels roll off. Then blessed to have James Earl Jones as my husband and my father.
Right.
That's interesting. Cicely Tyson to do a movie with her. Ruby Dee to do a movie with her. I'm in tall cotton. You know?
Sure. What roles have you enjoyed the most? What type of character you enjoy the most?
Theater, and we did for American Playhouse. I played all 3 roles in Raisin in the Sun. Coming out of college, I did Beneatha. Then Ruth for a good while, and now Mama Lena. So even to go to Manchester, England, and do her,
Wow.
and here, and I can still do her. It's a classical play. And the original cast of A Raisin in the Sun came to Philly in 1959 while I was in school. And my mother made dinner for the cast, and they all signed the poster.
Mm.
So I have that as a memento. So but I love The Notebook. I love Molly T. Patterson. I gave Whitney bad advice. Honey, I hear he's a good man, Sophia. He just in a bad situation. I've heard that over 1,000 times. I'm trying to figure out, can I get passive income? You see what I'm saying? But the fact that it's out there and people, I would never give anybody that advice. Because see, I would never tell anybody except a half of a man. Because y'all don't play that. If we cheated on y'all be ready to throw us to the dogs.
Right.
But we're supposed to accept that. And women did. Not so much now.
Right.
And, but so I'm trying to think. I even like Gaggett in True to the Game.
Mm-hmm.
They killed me off in the 3rd one, but in Terry Woods' book, who men in prison learn to read, reading True to the Game, Deadly Rains, Dutch. She didn't die. I died in a movie, but her 4th book is about Gaggett.
Right.
So I will rise out of Phoenix, rising
Right,
out of the ashes.
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah.
Tell us about maybe playing Michael Jackson's mother, because, like you said, I forgot who you were. I really saw Catherine, and I've worked with her a bit.
Yeah. I was just sharing with the makeup artist. I let them shave my eyebrows. That was not a smart move because they could have done stuff with makeup. Because it's difficult to grow those puppies back. Okay, we trying to figure it out now. But it was wonderful. And I did homework. I tried to read everything I could about the family and about Katherine Jackson. Unbelievable woman who made a choice that she was going to stick by Joe Jackson no matter what and raise her children. And my only regrets for them, they didn't have the childhood that they should have, but they all became brilliant performers, and then Michael, of course. And but I really enjoyed inhabiting her spirit. I do something that is, I found out doing the Mighty Gems that if I allow the character spirit to come inside of me, I will be able to Starletta to come back because the fellas, I know I'm jumping back on that, but the fellas, when the curtain went down, they knew my spirit had taken flight. There's a scream that I do in the movie that meets Peter Lynx's music, and the fellas held me tight. And so when the curtain came back up, Starletta was back. So from that, I'm not afraid to let my character spirit become a part of me. I think that's what makes me disappear and be these ladies, because you can always come back home.
Right. How do you channel that? Just, do you feel like it's through research?
I pray and ask that I am worthy to tell their story. And when they find me worthy, I can do it. It's just like I'll read stuff now, like people still want me to audition, and
I know, hate that.
I don't understand it. I know I have to audition for stuff, but I don't like to do it.
Right.
But certain things, if I see this person and the words speak to me, then I'll audition as many times as I need to, because I need for you to see she said yes to me.
Right.
You know, that I'm honored to do her. So, yeah, it's so I don't mind. But I can tell when I read the sides, and a lot of times now they don't allow you to have the script. I can read this stuff and say, it's garbage. And if my mouth can't articulate it well, I don't need to do it. It's something about how it's written. Because even this film that I have coming out,
Sure, I'm just going to ask you.
some stuff I just could not. And so actually he let me say, like in an improv, he let me say what I would normally say for the character.
Right.
So it worked out.
Sure.
And, but yeah, I don't mind. I look forward. It's like doing August Wilson's work. You have to learn your song, the dialect, and his words, and he repeats stuff over and over. And these characters that he's so amazingly and brilliantly written, you have to earn the right to speak them. He's our Shakespeare.
Yeah. No, I love that. I think that's a great line for his work. It's incredible. To what extent can you speak about this upcoming project that you're working on? It's done. It's coming out soon.
Oh, one battle after another. Art imitating life. They're a bunch of revolutionaries. And I almost didn't do it. It's a huge budget. And I had to make a decision. Sometimes you won't get your quote. I couldn't understand it with that. But spiritually, the Holy Spirit said, you need to do this. I had no idea that all these, a year later, that I would be in the trailer. I worked 3 days.
Right.
I'm Tiana's grandmother. She comes home 9 months pregnant, has the baby. Regina Hall is my daughter. So she and Bob, Leonardo DiCaprio's character, who I'm telling him, baby, you're not qualified. You understand me, to be with my job, because we're a line of revolutionaries. And I was able to share what had happened to me in the 60s
Right.
at school. So I've been one all my life, and she comes from that.
Right.
So now what you going to do? And beautiful working with him, very humble, very sweet. My scenes were with 3 of them, and also a 3-month-old baby and a 6-month-old baby.
Wow.
Now, the crazy thing is, the day I started shooting, my grandson was born. So when we finished, and I was all over the place because I'm worried to make sure she was having a cesarean. She's going to be okay, da-di-da-di-da. But I asked them, and that was part of my contract too, that when I finished that day, you all take me to the hospital so I could see my baby. And that was one of the reasons I wasn't going to do it as well. Sometimes you make choices and people said, oh my God, we can brag that you did this movie with Leonardo DiCaprio. And I'm saying, yeah, he's fabulous. Yes.
Right.
All of these folk are. But so is Cicely.
Right.
So is James.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like a whole list of folk.
Right.
Right. And so, but it was a wonderful experience. And I'm hoping that I have an opportunity to be on the publicity junkets to promote the film. And then the fact that the trailer is out now. Sean Penn, Benicio, and Leonardo, all of them are Oscar winners. So is Paul Thomas Anderson, our director, beautiful director. And I was so worried, well, maybe I didn't, because my head is all over the place, worrying about my baby. Did I do what you needed me to do? And he told me, he said, well, Starletta, if you didn't, we would keep doing it.
Until we get it.
Till we get it, right. But great experience. I'm excited about the movie. And I'm also excited for next year. I did a animated film called about Bass Reeves, the Black bounty hunter. And I play a Choctaw Black woman with the mitral. It's thin as silk, but it's the stuff they used in the Lord of the Rings. It's very
Sure.
it's very strong and unbreakable. And what happens when during the war they use black men as guinea pigs? Say people lost their arm and they're going to give you a new arm, and they just tried stuff. Well, like I did Miss Evers' Boys about the Tuskegee experiment. So anyway, but say your arm is messed up. Not only can I repair it for you, but your arm will have powers to do stuff. So that'll be out, like, I think in January. I'd never done animation before. And so my character is Ella Yellowtail.
Okay.
And I'm of the Iroquois nation, so Seneca and Blackfoot on the East Coast. So, yes, it's so having the opportunity, to do stuff like that.
Full circle.
Yeah, and as I say, we should be paid what our worth is, but I'm about the work. I didn't get into this to be rich and famous. If you respect and love my work, I've done my job. And I've been able to do this since the early 70s. And I don't have to work all the time because I do have a life. Hello.
Sure.
And that's what I would tell anybody, wanting to be in this business. You need a life. That can't be all that it is, as Peggy Lee says. Is this all there is?
Right.
You have to have other things that interest you, like I'm a scuba diver. And I love my garden. And I just saw some gladiolas popping up. I didn't plant them, but with the cross-pollination, with the butterflies and hummingbirds and bees, you'll find stuff in your garden. And then I'm my grandma's child, so you put love in your garden's going to love you back.
Sure.
Yeah.
I want to pick up on one footnote, though, before we plug the movie again. And that's, I believe this grandson's so important to you because you adopted your child.
At 55 years old. And I think back and I said, girl, how in the world did you do that? It was necessary. I was afraid since my mom left when I was 2 for this business,
Right.
that I would do the same thing. So it was hard for me to have a child, let babies come here. But I knew this is what I needed to do. And I will also tell somebody, I guess we're really being transparent and stuff. If you put your own stuff in the street, nobody can ever blackmail you. Jennifer Lewis said that, and it's the truth. So you can't be afraid of what somebody may find out about you, because all they can say is, look, God brought you from point A to point Z.
Right.
And what you have done. I didn't plan to be a single parent. My fiance quit me for Gladys Knight, but I didn't give up the desire to do it or the process. And the one thing I can say in Les's defense, he was adopted. There's a hole in you that it didn't matter that Mamie Brown got him at 6 months old and raised him and his brother. There's still something missing. My son has been able through DNA to find all of his siblings. He went from a very angry little boy, so angry at that first year, I could have given him back, but it was like, girl, you got to find a way to fight through this. And it was like, you know what I mean? And he got in trouble, went to prison. So when he's in prison, I'm in prison. But I did not quit. And I tell anybody, God never quit on me. I've been in situations, and all of us have been places where we were someplace we shouldn't have been. And if we got caught, we could have went to jail.
Right.
Especially when I went to New York. I remember being in an after-hour club, and I'm a sleepyhead, so for me to have to be up at 2 o'clock in the morning is interesting. So you know what I mean? And I remember sitting there, and I would always eat something fried. So if I'm drinking some liquor, some Courvoisier, which I really can't handle, I can drink a little wine and stuff, but sometimes. But to have a little lining on your stomach.
Right.
Anyway, I heard a small voice tell me, and I now realize it was the Holy Spirit, said, you need to leave now, Miss Thing. I got my stuff, put my purse. You understand me? I see y'all later. Do you know that place got busted? And they all went to jail. And I said, well, how would I explain, first thing, trying to get a bond to get out? And how would I explain it to my family? And what in the world was I doing there anyway?
Sure.
So I have compassion and understanding that people find themselves in situations. Because once my son was out of our house, if you've been in the system and if you don't like where you are, they let you go back and you go to group homes.
Right.
There's no supervision. You get jumped in a gang.
Right. It's all downhill.
The gangs you think are your family let you get arrested and go to jail.
Right.
So I hung in there. I said, wow, we could do a book of our letters to each other.
Sure.
But he's come full circle, and now he's a dad. And whatever we go through as parents, first thing, you do stuff because you want to. And it's all worth it. The pain and the glory.
Right.
Life is like that too, right? Because you're going to experience all kinds of stuff, and it's how you deal. Either the cup is half full or it's half empty. And I see life with the cup half full, and the little girl in me is still running around, which is why I'm like, what? Oh, really? I'm not jaded. Life is
Right.
still a wonderment, right? Yeah.
No, positive. Not trying to put all your business out there, but yet another element is that there were times where you were not sitting getting ridiculous checks and rolls while you had this adopted baby, and you were literally willing to work and do whatever it took to raise this adopted child. So I just kind of want to paint that picture, and you don't have to
Oh,
get into
yes.
details if you don't want to, but
No,
it
it's
is
all right.
more than admirable, as I've been adopted myself.
It's like, I'm out here. And it's good to be out here which is why I can go to high schools and universities and talk to the young people. Because if we're transparent and not hypocritical, I used to live when I got DeAndre, I lived in Malibu in the mobile home park at Point Dune. And he was in a private preschool, and I wasn't working. And my girlfriend had the clean team. And she said, Starletta, I'll pay you $100 if you go clean this lady's house. I'm thinking of my grandmother. I know why she wanted me to have an education. I remember 12 years old going to clean a lady's house, and I didn't realize the ladies take their time.
Mm-hmm. Pacing.
I'm finished. She gives me lunch, and then it was $7 in car fare. And I wanted an outfit, which is why I was, going to do this. And she gave me sardines, which I love, on a plate I hadn't seen, and I had done all of her fine china and her Waterford glasses and this and that, right? A glass I hadn't seen, and milk. And certain folks don't mix fish and milk.
Right.
You know what I said to her? I said, just give me what you owe me. I can promise you I'm going to school. So I was highly motivated. So now, fast forward, I started to cry. I said, I got a master's degree, and I'm about to clean somebody's house. And it was like the Holy Spirit saying to me, Starletta, if this was my house, would you be having this pity party right now? I said, no, you could eat off the ceiling. You could eat off the floor, da-da-da-da. I said, it's my house. You asked me for a blessing. Now, are you humble enough to take it? Baby, I cleaned as unto the Lord. You hear me? That child could eat off of whatever in her home. Put that $100 bill down in my little coveralls. Went to the market, got my baby the healthiest stuff, because he didn't have a lot of childhood illnesses because I'm into holistic, as I was saying, and homeopathic. So I knew what to feed him, and I would have bowls of all kinds of fruit, big bowl of fruit in the house. I didn't keep candy in the house. Now, it was hard to keep that sugar because everywhere else people are giving the kids candy.
Right.
But this mama was doing, and fed him healthy. Unless you live on the farm, cow's milk is for calves, for calves.
Right.
That's why people are lactose intolerant. So I felt him, I think either rice dream or soak or something else. I didn't give him cow's milk. Because when I was a little girl, I had bronchitis a lot, drinking pasteurized milk. Yeah. But one thing being a mom, that's why I could never knock women, say if they were in the street doing whatever they had to do to feed their child. I know of where I wouldn't eat so I could make sure he could.
Right.
So I understood what some mothers have to deal with. And it's okay. We're going to make sure y'all are okay.
Right.
And I can fast for a minute overnight, drink some water or something. So, yeah. Yeah, so no regrets. I've done what God asked me to do. Another thing over these years, once I came back to the same Jesus, my grandmama told me about. You go to college, you're exposed to all sorts of points of view. And fine, I became a tither. He stretches the money. Checks will come, a residual will come right when you need whatever it is. So I'm good. I bought what I could afford 28 years ago. People were talking to me, oh man, you in the hood, you're on Fifth Avenue, da-da-da-da-da. I said, unless you're trying to give me mortgage money, you understand me, to be somewhere else.
Exactly.
Yeah, I wanted to be west of Crenshaw. But guess who is coming east of Crenshaw now?
Exactly.
Everybody. Not everybody. Everybody. Okay?
Exactly.
Gentrification.
Yeah, absolutely.
Please. So, yeah, he's faithful.
Absolutely. Sure. Well, a wonderful testimony. Tell us the name of the movie because the trailers and publicity have already started.
Yeah, and that's the prayer, that they would, it's one battle after another.
Mm-hmm.
So by them doing it now, I hope, like I said, Jamie Foxx and them did the name on the call sheet. What is it? The
first one or something.
Whatever on the call sheet for the men and the women, and then he did his one man piece in Atlanta, thanking Atlanta for saving his life.
Right.
So we'll see. Me talking about it right now will get out, and everywhere else that I'll be going. And since I am a revolutionary, a real one, they need to have me up in there.
Exactly. Yeah.
And then next year we need to be at cons.
Sure, absolutely.
And I would go to cons if I have a dog in the show.
Sure, absolutely.
Right?
Sounds good.
So, yeah. So it's been a blessing, and everything I need, God has provided. I was going back to Broadway with the piano lesson after Mighty Gents, and I did the show at Yale Rep and then in Boston. Samuel L. Jackson was my first boy, Willie, and then Rock Dutton.
Wow.
And my dad got cancer. And his girlfriend asked me, would I come home? Now, I have sisters with my dad and my stepmom.
Right.
They're in Philly.
Why is he asking you?
I'm on my way back to Broadway. Epatha is rich and famous.
Right.
Because from piano lesson, Pulitzer Prize, she went to do Law and Order and now Lackawanna Blues.
Yes.
And Chicago Med now was, wonderful actress, brilliant actress. And I had a choice to do me or be obedient and go home and show a man that wasn't always emotionally present what unconditional love looks like. And I remember, and the doctors gave him 6 months. I believe love gave him 2 years.
Right. And your love in particular.
Yeah, I was the one. And I have a brother, Gregory, who's in heaven now. Um, yeah. And I said to my dad, I said, I don't remember you hugging me or saying I love you. And he said, I kept a roof over your head and food in your stomach. And I looked in his eyes. That's all he knew.
Right.
So you know what my job was? Daddy, I love you. Then he could say it. And then he would go kind of in remission. Well, give me the keys to my house and give me the keys to my car. I say, it's no problem. But I'm not going nowhere, boo.
Right.
Right here. But while he was in remission, I was able to do fences in Philly. And I was able to go to New Orleans to do convicts with James Earl Jones and Robert Duvall, you know. And I was blessed to be with him when he closed his eyes. And I saw people are fearful. You don't have to be. God prepares you. Now, I'm looking at him, so I'm looking over here. I see him see his mother and Jesus come get him. I did not see them, because had I would not be here. I would not be here. I'm laughing, but I saw the furrow in his brow relax. And the only thing I asked the nurses, could I get up in the bed with him and hold him? And they let me do that. And then I could also, once he took his last breath, just close his eyes. And see, having the nursing and pre-med background at Cheney Stokes, there's a rattle that you hear. And there were things that I could do to advocate for him. You know, a lot of stuff I don't remember, but I can ask questions for my own well-being, but for someone else's. So, yeah.
That definitely came full circle, the training you had as a bio major and things like that.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And nursing school. So I would, I'm advocating now for young people because my grandnephew had a very traumatic life and he accidentally overdosed in February. He would have graduated this month. He already had 5 or more acceptances of colleges. And, we learn to be silent. Women do when things happen to us. That's why I'm watching this young lady on this trial. For her to be brave enough to say what happened, and they'll tell you in a minute, well, why didn't you leave? It's not that simple. I left my husband, who had been a Vietnam vet, with the clothes on my back because I couldn't take another beating. And Aiden's had a very traumatic childhood. His dad, my nephew, didn't want him. And so he started having episodes. And when we tell you, if we've taken pills and we tell you it's a cry for help, if I really want to die, I'm not going to say anything.
Right.
Excuse me. And I had an instance when I was staying with my mom, and her boyfriend felt my legs, and I told her, and she slapped me. She didn't believe me. And I went right in the bathroom, and I took some whatever was in there, and I came right out and told them. So that scared everybody, and they pumped my stomach. So that's what I'm saying. When I go back to tell young people, I can't be afraid to say, wait a minute, baby. I don't know your particular situation, but I've been in situations where I had to do something drastic to get help.
Right.
And women are basically taught to be quiet when you've been molested or raped or whatever. And somebody has to be able to give you a voice to be able to heal, to forgive, which is very important. And you're not forgiving people because for them, you're forgiving for yourself because Bitterness and hatred and unforgiveness can kill you. It's like drinking poison and I'm waiting for you to die.
Right.
You know, but being transparent. At this time in my life, like I said, what's the worst you can say about me? I survived, for one.
Right.
But not only survived, I overcame. And I forgave folks. I needed to forgive my parents. I needed to forgive myself. Because if people knew better, they would have done better. And that's the thing you have to say to yourself and to other people. Spock didn't have it. He was supposed to be the end all and be all in terms of child raising, and his child committed suicide. We have to listen more to the young people because I don't know about you, but I grew up where it's my way or the highway. You do what I say, not what I do. You do what I
tell you to do.
And you can't do that now. You need to listen and find ways to find out what's happening. And social media is dangerous.
I agree.
Which is, you get bullied. I got bullied when I moved to North Philly, one of my various places of abodes. And this girl she put this stick on my shoulder, and every day they would just mess with me for about 2 weeks. And I got to the street where I lived, and I snapped, and I tried to make a place for her in the brick wall, and an old man had to pull me off of her, right? Because I don't fight. Let me use my words. Fighting to me means I have to save my life. I never had another fight, though, up in there because they thought I was crazy. But crazy is good. They keep you off of me, yeah. But I'd rather communicate and talk it through. You don't have to hit me. You can talk to me. And if it's not workable, we both make our moves. Right.
Words of wisdom to live by. I mean, just an incredible set of stories, but I definitely want to bring out that adoption piece and things like that, because I think a lot of people are certainly proud of their grandchildren and the accomplishments that represents. But in this case, especially coming from your adopted child and what they went through, not only a survivor, but definitely someone who really helped give life to someone else.
And I can tell you this, the ones that could not come here, we'll see them in heaven.
Sure.
I will share that with my girlfriend that I just met. I'll share that with her, that she'll see those babies again.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks so much.
You're welcome.
A pleasure.